right, here we go. Should be interesting tonight. Excuse me. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this sacred space. Because when we talk about aliens and UFOs, that's a spiritual topic. Now, I want to make sure you guys can hear me and see me. So can you guys in chat just say, yeah, it's good to go. Let's do this. Yeah, because sometimes we start and it's not really doing the audio or something. So we got Kuzra, Pharaoh, Warren B, Sarah Holder, Blessing, Star Sister, Leo Murray. What's up? What's up? Okay. Can you hear us too? You said you can see me. Can you hear me? Thank you guys for being here with me tonight. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. I just got back from my a very large conference. It's called Contact in the Desert. The key word there is contact. Okay, so contact with who? Contact with what? Well, this whole conference which is the largest one right now or anywhere, that talks about UFOs, aliens, experiencers. If you don't know what that is, it just simply means people who are also called contactees, abductees, who are experiencing spiritual awakening, spiritual activation. So while there's plenty of people all over the planet, and I really mean billions of humans, do not believe in aliens or UFOs. It dumbfounds me. There's videos of them. There's someone probably you know and trust or love who had some experience with the paranormal. Okay, you can call those even supernatural. They're not paranormal, they're not supernatural, but from the 3D mentality, conscious or lack of conscious awareness point of view, it is considered out there. Paranormal or supernatural. But it's not. It's actually normal. What's actually happened on this planet Earth is we have been influenced, we have been manipulated. And so what used to be normal, such as the universal sacred law of one, which used to be your experiencing regularly your own personal direct connection to Source God, now it's all been twisted and perverted and manipulated into something unnatural, unorganic. Now you're not getting true spiritual technologies. Now you're not getting the truth of your history. Human's history is what is that you're learning in school? Okay, the true history is a forbidden history. You guys, when we talk about UFOs and aliens, once again, that is a spiritual topic. It has to do with the spiritual drama playing out on planet Earth. How in the world could humans forget that aliens exist, that UFOs and those type of technologies exist? Now it's science fiction. Now it's unbelievable for billions. Wasn't always like that. In these teachings, the Emerald Order teachings, also called the innerchristos, law of one, we're reminded of our true ancient, super ancient history. Okay, even some of these aliens that we're going to be talking about tonight, and are very ancient. Where's this word ancient aliens coming from, right? Humans themselves are super ancient. Humans themselves are extraterrestrial. This is not our home world. We were not created on earth, but part of the human race was seeded on earth with intention by guardian alien extraterrestrials. Now that's a distinction right there when we say guardian. That means positive. That means aligned with source God, creator, remembering our heritage, remembering our connection, okay, under the sacred universal law of one, treating all with Christ consciousness, unity, seeing all as equal in the one. Okay, so that's what this point of view is about. Yeah, we're going to talk about disclosure. We're going to talk about aliens and UFOs. We're going to even talk about the secret space program, all of the secret technologies, not all, I'm going to mention a whole bunch of them that we actually have, but it's not being shared with the surface humans. Only depending on your financial wealth, or if you're networked with these elitists, which is another word for any type of negative vampiric consciousness. You don't find guardian beings or consciousness aligning themselves with elitism, with hierarchies, with authorities and control systems. It's all about God, sovereign, free on the team light. Okay? This is what this channel is based on. Right there. I'm very transparent about where this information is coming from. How can someone still ask me, where are you getting this from? Okay, I have over 1,000 videos plus on these teachings, on the malevolent, dark, alien extraterrestrials. We call them out. We expose the Anunnaki. We expose the reptilians, the Zeta Gray aliens. I went to contact in the desert, and I wasn't the only one experiencing UFOs, aliens, extrasensory perceptions. Okay? It's not what some people will call that, the billions of humans will say you got something mentally disturbed, or you are a schizophrenic. You guys, we don't need other people to believe. We're certainly not seeking validation from 3D humans. You don't need it. But this is a unity thing. We love all. Even the dark side is part of God. We love all. We bring in this concept called omni love. Now this is a live broadcast, so let me say hello to everyone, and then we'll get into the juicy parts. Machiwa. Thank you guys for coming here tonight. I encourage you guys to put your experiences in chat. We have a very peaceful, loving group here, and because of that, we also have people who attack this type of information. Even though our information is coming from a space of love and equality called unity, we're still going to get attacked because people don't resonate with that. People prefer to resonate with judgment and fear and subservience and shame. This is what's in religion, and this is where you're going to get those type of trolling. But this is why I have moderators, so we can keep a peaceful dialogue. So you guys, I'm letting you know, you can disagree, but just be respectful. Thank you. And you guys, I am not sick like I was last time, coming from the alien event conference. But I am like sore and feel like I'm beat up. Because I am 50 in my 50s, and I did a ton of walking. The hotel where Contact in the Desert was being hosted by was completely sold out. Months ago, it was sold out. So I had to get a hotel across the street, so I had to walk a mile. I couldn't even drive here because it was all booked up, sold out. You couldn't, as far as I know. And so I had to do a lot of walking and I don't dress like this at a convention. I dress in a sports coat, like casual business. And so I walked in that, and it's very hot in Cali right now, so I went through that. And plus, it's a huge resort, and there was a lot of stairs. I had to go, and sometimes you had to go to one of the lectures way across the campus. There's many different swimming pools. I didn't go swimming, but there's people there that were swimming. But, there was also a live drum circle on Friday night and Saturday night. One of our brothers out there brought his drum, just himself. He brought himself and his drum and didgeridoo and started rocking, baby. What's up? I'm part, Then I jump into my hippie clothes and get on down. And speaking of which, I don't have my crystal stones, but whatever. It's just, I'm not going to go get that. But yeah, it was freaking unbelievable, awesome. A couple of other people brought in their instruments. There was just a lot of woke. I prefer the word awakened. There's a lot of awakened people at this event. Okay? Now, some of those were celebrities, in the Ancient Alien people on the programming. So I saw plenty of those people. I saw Linda Moulton Howe. This time I didn't even go see her thing. I know, I'm aware of her work. I've been to her work. I got a picture with Linda Moulton Howe, so I didn't need to do that again. And I heard someone I don't want to say nothing negative. But anyways, I saw her there. She was there. And some of the other producers and people and not actors, but people who talk in this disclosure. People who write books on disclosure. So I'm just saying that because I may not look so great because I'm still, I gotta rehabilitate myself. I'm sore. I had blisters on my feet. And then I'm not gonna complain all night. I'm just saying I'm not at my 100%, but I'm doing okay. I'll be okay. It was just an awesome time I had at the Contact in the Desert. Sorry I missed you guys on Saturday, but I told you ahead of time. Just Real in the house. Number one. Yeah, you're the first one, Holy One. Thank you for hanging with us tonight. Thank you for your time, brother. Nikki B, Star Sister, and she's at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, Star Sister. Oh, someone is numbering. I guess the AI is numbering who comes in first. I don't know. Nikki B, what's up, Star? Well, no, wait, I don't understand. Now you both have number one. I don't know what's up with that. There's something new, I guess. What's this leaderboard thing? It's new. Now I notice there's a leaderboard thing. You guys, I have no idea what that is, but I will find out the next time. I don't know what the leaderboard thing is. I honestly don't. There was a few options I noticed were different. Sarah Holder, thank you, Star Sister. Leo Murray, Warren B, Pharaoh, Kuzra, Sandra. Hello, Anahazi. Welcome home. Thank you so much. It's so good to be home. This arm is bugging the hell out of me. I don't know why. Because I was laying on my left side. I'm supposed to lay on my right side now, so this will heal. Because now it's really bugging me here. But I'm doing good. Thank you, Sandra. Sandra sending love. So we got 2 Sandras. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for being a member, Holy One. Bless you. It's been over a year you've been a member. Stephen Oswald, another yearly annual member. What's up, brother? Machiwa Holy Ones. Goddess Lillian in the house. Can I talk about Metatron? That's a bit off topic, but I can say something really quick. Metatron is praised in New Age. But one thing you learn from the Emerald Order teachings is that religion and New Age I'll repeat myself. Both religions and New Age are both fallen angelic resources. Religion teaches you about fear, subservience, blind worship. No, we talk about there is no worship. Guardians do not worship anything. We're aligned, connected to Source God. When you have some source telling you that you need to be, that you're a guilty sinner, OMG, man. This is darkness disempowering you, enslaving you. And that's where these angels are coming out of. And actually, Metatron is not mentioned once in the Bible. It's actually coming from a different religion, Islam. It's in the Kabbalah. Anybody bringing up Metatron? Do you even know where it's coming from? Where's Metatron coming from? From Jewish mysticism, from the Kabbalah. It's not coming from New Age. New Age took a hold of it and made something of it. They don't talk about Jewish mysticism. Metatron, and you could say it's related to tonight's topic. Because Metatron is a fallen, I'll say that again, capital F, fallen collective who were once upon a time, thank you for all those hearts, holy ones, were ascended master who came into the time matrix to help one of its races, it seated in our 15-dimensional time matrix. But they got entangled. They put 2/3, which was a risk, but they put 2/3 of their ascended master collective, and then they got entangled into the same distortion they were trying to heal, and then they fell. They literally fell. They are the first fallen angels. They're the most darkest. We call these Metatronic death science. They're giving you the Metatron's cube. It doesn't help you. It does the opposite of what you're thinking. Metatron, you asked me a direct question. I'm giving you a direct answer. It's coming from the Emerald Order teachings. Metatron is a fallen collective. They're the first fallen race. They're the ones who created the Anu Elohim. And Elohim is in the Bible. Anu is in the New Age. Anu Elohim is the fallen angelic ET race in the 11th dimension. Humans are in the 3rd dimension. So part of this disclosure effort is exposing, while New Age is praising, the guardian angelic nations are exposing Anu Elohim, Metatron, Enoch, Thoth, all the Anunnaki races, including Jehovah, also in the Bible. Elohim's in the Bible. Jehovah's in the Bible. Nephilim's in the Bible. Archangel Michael's in the Bible. All these fallen angelic races that people are experiencing in the secret space program, experiencing on planet Earth. It is Metatron, Anu Elohim, Anunnaki who brought us patriarchy. Okay, you got male and female. It's part of a whole. But no, they say no. God's male. No, God doesn't have a penis. Doesn't have a vagina either. God is male and female. God is outside of gender, outside of body. God doesn't have a body. God is pure consciousness. It's when 3D humans start putting gender on God. When gender's a very, very low spiritual experience. Because you're going to grow out of gender and eventually be androgynous. Like archangels are androgynous. But New Age also puts a penis on angels when they don't. They're androgynous. Archangel Michael, first red flag, it's being called a male. Second red flag is you don't need any self-proclaimed archangel between you and Source God. That's another whole video. I made a whole video on Metatron. Check it out. Thank you. And we're going to be talking heavily about the Anunnaki tonight. And you guys are welcome to have your beliefs, because there's a ton of people who do not resonate with that. I made Metatron shorts and a Metatron interview with one of our star sisters talking about what the truth is about Metatron. Thank you for the question. Nikki 33. Thank you, Nikki. You're always kind. Thank you so much. Nikki Colombo in the house. I don't know everything about Tom's spirituality. I honestly don't know. I'm sure he saw the Voyager's books right here in the interview. Go ask him. Blessings. I don't know the whole life story about on Tom. I was just happy for him to be here and expose some of this darkness in the world. We all suspected all the Hollywood demonic crap. Tom just put an exclamation point and added more to the story. Thank you for that. And my guests don't need to have read Voyagers, by the way. Just saying. But most of them have. Like our last guest, Dara. She couldn't even make it to the Contact in the Desert, so that was... I was sad not to see her, but I did see our friend Julia, who I also interviewed, and I don't think she's read the Voyager's books either. But it doesn't matter, because she's an awakening person and she has something to offer to our community. So thank you, Julie. Hit the thumbs up. Christopher Odell. I was taken by the Greys and they told me AIDS was man-made. I wouldn't doubt it. Either account. Thank you for sharing, Christopher. And by the way, you guys, Contact in the Desert is the only one, but that is where there's 2 movies made by two of the experiencers I saw at Contact in the Desert. Fire in the Sky. Write in the comments if you've seen that movie. Fire in the Sky. And what was the other one? Let me do this real quick. One second. Like, list movies based on true stories. You can say they're true or not. I'm just going to say that. Of alien abduction or contact. I know one of them is Travis Walton, but let me find a... Yeah. Fire in the Sky, 1993. Travis Walton's abduction in Arizona. Man, it's such a trip. I was 5 years old in Pine Top, Arizona, when this UFO incident happened. There's a lot of, big actors in that movie. Oh, a couple of big actors. It was a really good movie. I don't think Travis Walton agrees with everything that they put in the movie. But I got to see him in person. He was at one of the drum circles, man. He was playing a guitar. Someone was playing a keyboard. There's a couple drummers. I was one of the dancers, of course. So I'm trying to find the other guy who was at the communion. The guy who was at the communion. I mean, it's based on Whitley Strieber's best-selling book, Communion. He was at the event, man. He was at one of the panels that I was watching. And so, Contact in the Desert, baby. Whitley. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. I will refer to this because I just want to share some of the things in there with you guys. Okay. I didn't see Travis Walton this time, but he's been there at Contact in the Desert before. Author of Communion and The Fourth Mind, hosting Dreamland since 1998, and the first inception of podcasting, I guess it's a podcast, having written War Day and Superstorm becoming the basis for the Day After Tomorrow movie. His website, unknowncountry.com, is among the largest global repositories for credible paranormal accounts. So he was on a panel that I saw, and it was an amazing panel. I have much respect for people coming forward with their their testimonies. Like, get this, you guys. This is some of the things that I got to check out. Unraveling reality from psychedelics to synchronicity. And I talk about how psilocybin, for example, and that's not what the whole thing was about. But I talk about in my own personal experiences how it has awakened myself to contact. Not just that, but there's something extremely profound I haven't seen no one talking about. This is within my own self, with my own experience. I haven't heard Ashana talk about. She's actually against any type of drugs. You call them drugs or plant medicine. I'm not against it. And I have had truly legitimate experiences of awakening myself, observing myself. No, not just observing, not just seeing or hearing. Literally being that being. Like you could say, when you change your frequency, what is medicine doing? It's changing your frequency. I don't mean of your body. Your body stays here on earth. You're not the body. The body is a vehicle of what you really are. Okay? The consciousness, the soul essence, spirit essence that came into the fetus when your mother was pregnant. It developed. I made a video about the fetal integration process today. Okay? So you have human spirits going into the fetuses. Billions. But there's something called hybrid humans here. Some of them positive, some of them negative. And those extraterrestrial soul essences go into the pregnant fetus, the mother into the fetus, and then your birth. You grow up to be a baby, a child, a teenager, an adult. It's a human hybrid. It looks like us because it has part human DNA. These are projects, programs, not all of them good. And they're ancient, not just recent. The secret space program is ancient. This isn't just limited to modern times and modern governments. They're coming from, what is the secret space program? Well, they're actually working with the extraterrestrials involved in the Super Federation. Now, I have to say, this contact and disclosure, yes, it talks about disclosure, but it doesn't go that deep. I think disclosure is going to happen, is happening slowly. Okay? But I'm one of the hardcore ones who will talk about the secret space program. Actually, one of these guys who are on Ancient Aliens, he didn't want to acknowledge that. Because I asked him live on one of it, because they take questions sometimes. Nick Pope worked in the UK Ministry of Defense, where he had responsibility for the UAP. Now, you guys, if you don't know it, they don't call UFOs anymore UFOs. They're calling them UAPs. Most humans are still searching under UFOs. I checked. Shit. Because what is this, right? To keep on renaming these things. There's a app that I use to help make my videos and such, and it tells you exactly, it gives you a search volume. How many people are searching for UAP? 240,000 people are are interested in UAPs. They want to know what are UAPs. Okay. How many monthly searches are for UFO? 1,359,000. So what the F? UFO, UAP, they're the same freaking thing. Okay. So Nick Pope, where he had responsibility. Okay, so even that itself right there is a disclosure. Because how many governments are saying, oh yeah, UFOs are real, UAPs are real, even though what do they do in the news when all they say, oh, that's a Chinese weather balloon or drone? They're still not acknowledging UFOs, UAPs. It's coming out. It's slowly starting to be talked about, but not really mainstream talking about UFOs. Billions of humans still don't believe in UFOs. It's just a fact. That's where we're at. That's where our planet is at. Still at. The damage has been done. You've been mind warped. Now you're thinking about giving your energy to some demonic, vampiric ET gods that are angry and pissed off and do blood ritual sacrifices, just like Yahweh God, just like the Islamic God. It's all about jihad, baby, and war and death. That's not a red flag for all of you billions of humans? So if they're saying that, the government, the UK ministry, has people like Nick Pope, has responsibilities for the UAP issue. So there's actually staff, you guys, in governments who know this. The governments know about aliens and UFOs. The governments make agreements with aliens while they're telling you they don't exist, and you now think they don't exist. They still have government officials and employees who are in charge of the responsibilities of these topics that don't exist. Just like you don't think psychic powers exist, but the government kidnaps kids and supercharges their psychic powers. You guys aren't into disclosure? You're not learning about what's actually behind the scenes? You don't see disclosure happening? There's plenty of us. Raise your hand in the audience. There's plenty of us who are experiencing aliens and UFOs and psychic, paranormal, supernatural things. We don't need the haters to believe. We're not trying to convince anybody of anything. This is not dogma. You're God's sovereign free, and we acknowledge that within all of you. You choose your discernment. You choose what you believe. So this was one of the people speaking at the Contact in the Desert. All these lectures, all these panels, disclosure is coming out from even the government, like Nick Pope. As he's also assessing the defense, the national security, and the safety of flight implications of the phenomena of UAPs, because they don't call them UFOs anymore. So when I asked him, hey, what's up, brother? I told him a respectful question. I asked, okay, you're talking about these elements in the military, elements in the government. What is your opinion, Nick? What is your opinion on the secret space program? He alluded, he says, if that exists, he had this, 1 minute thing to say about it. You see what I'm saying, you guys? Disclosure's happening, yes. We're talking about aliens and UFOs more. But they're not going into the bigger picture, because if they have to acknowledge secret militaries and secret governments and free energy systems and super amazing technologies, they're keeping a lid on those secrets still. They're still going to cling to the secrecy and all of the black ops, all of the black budgets that are feeding trillions of dollars every year, feeding these secret space programs. For some of us, it's not a secret. And once again, this is not, what do you call, limited to a book or to Ashiana. It's not limited to Nick Pope. It's not limited to one person, one faction, one group. People are having their own real experiences, man. That, they start talking about it, they get shamed. This is why I'm going to talk about it, you guys. This is, I've been to a few of these events now. I know that I'm teaching Emerald Covenant teachings and innerchristos teachings, but I'm also going to be revealing some of this stuff, and it's not as if it's not unrelated. These teachings talk about all of these aliens, like the Anunnaki, Syrian Anunnaki, the Marduk Anunnaki, Enlil Anunnaki, Inky Anunnaki, Pleiadian Anunnaki, not regular Pleiadians, the Luciferian ones, and how they're all part of some. This is a spiritual topic. I saw my electrical stuff for a second. Because it involves fallen angelic races, which are, if you don't like that term, some of you, I don't like it, what's that? Malevolent, negative aliens. They're part of what's called the Luciferian covenant. There's a whole different kind of species, the reptilians, the dragons, other fallen angelic races. You don't like the term still? Okay, negative, malevolent ET races, also involved in the human drama. Also talked about in the secret space programs, also talked about by the people experiencing these things. And you see, when you don't even believe in psychic powers or negative elements in government or military, it's not possible. They would tell us. You don't believe in God, maybe. You don't even believe in fallen angels. Where's this conversation going to go? You see, this is what awakening is. It's awakening to these realities. What is awakening? You start perceiving. Not that you're crazy. You're not a schizophrenic or something's wrong with you. It's because you're evolving and the rest of the billions of humans are sleeping. Not activating DNA, not expanding in their spiritual, biological evolution. So they're like, even though we're spiritual, we're not going to call them that. They're the ones talking like clowns, making themselves look like fools, calling us there's something wrong with us, when the truth is, they're not doing jack shit, excuse my language, for their evolution. They're the ones blinded and don't have extrasensory perceptions. Okay? But you will see plenty of people, man. Plenty of people talking about their extrasensory perceptions, experiences, abductions, contacts, UFO experiences. I'm one of those homies. Up close and personal, on a UFO, out of my body experiences, near-death experiences, man. We don't need the 3D consciousness to agree or believe in unity, in Christ consciousness. We would love it when they do. We hope they heal themselves and come and join the party, man. Because the more the better, the more that awaken into disclosure, the better. Because that makes us stronger. That makes more of the mainstream start to talk about and cover this stuff and not call it crazy stuff. And, you got to put a tinfoil hat on. Excuse me. Wrong glasses. Let me hydrate myself. I'm looking at the members who have helped me tonight. We have Fly Fish with T became a new member. Welcome to the members area, Holy One. And you have access to the older time matrix diagram. You have access to the Discord chat server. Contact me if you need a link, you guys. We have Nick. Thank you so much for that donation, for that exchange of energy, Holy One. And he has a comment. Hi, I remember you mentioned an upcoming event gathering in Arizona. Yeah, that's the next one. There's actually one in Florida in July, but I can't make that one. I can't afford that one. No, see, someone helped me. My friend Julia, I'll just give a shout out to her. Thank you, Star Sister. She helped me. She paid for my ticket. No one's helping me out to go to the Florida one. I can't go that one. So there's one in Florida. I actually met the guy putting it together, man. His name is Brian. Give a huge shout out to Brian, man. I love you, brother. We spent some quality time together. It was awesome to see him. He's a very woke person. I couldn't tell that by his Facebook page. But when I met him in person, hell yeah. He brought his dog there. Everybody loved his dog. Beautiful. It was such a great energy. So, yeah. But the one to answer your question, Nick, that's in Las Vegas, Nevada, baby, in September. It's called Alien Event. Just go to alienevent.com. It'll answer all your questions. Thank you so much for that support, Nick. Leo Murray, brother. Woohoo! Thank you, man. What's up? You've been here for years, man. Thank you. So happy to have you. And also, Flyfish with T also had a donation. Keep up the good work. Keep up your work, brother. Thank you, Flyfish. Much respect. Yeah. What's up, family? You guys, I can't do this without your work. Without your support. I do this work full time. All my time, 7 days a week. It's like basically 100 hours a week. And the better energy and health I have, the more I'm going to work. No complaints. This is what I do. And I can't do this without your guys' help. Thank you so much, Flyfish. This is how I can pay my rent. This is how I can buy my groceries. So thank you guys for your support. G-Light in the house. Thank you so much, Star Sister. Omni-Christos love. So many positive energies flowing out. All oneness. One. Emerald Order teachings for life. You said it, sister. Thank you for your support. And I love those numbers. 999. What's up? Positive vibrations. And I'll be in Sedona 9/9 on my B day. Celestial G, member for 2 months. Woohoo! Good to have you on the team, Celestial G. Thank you for being in chat too. In the 10, Omni love to you, brother. Give me a bear hug. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. We're getting this taken care of. Taking care of one of your favorite content creators. Thank you guys. And if you didn't know it, if you're new here, you guys, I don't just talk about aliens, okay? We talk about all kinds of spiritual topics, Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, star seeds, indigo children, the law of one, okay? So we talk about the fallen angels, what really are angels and archangels. We talk about what is this matrix. The Guardians call it a hologram of matter. We actually have holographic universes. It's a multiverse of 15 dimensions. So there's a spiritual science here. So thank you guys for being here. Check out my other content. And excuse me. Looks like I'm trying to catch up chat. Remember, you guys, if you have any questions, please put Christos Avatar TV in your message so it becomes highlighted. Oh, yeah. I think Hollywood people, they call it woke. And there's a lot of people mocking that. We're not Hollywood, so that's why I said awaken. Because some people don't like the word woke, even though it literally means the same thing. But, you know, if we can stay away from a trigger, then we do. As service, as Christic beings, we will try to keep it peaceful for everybody. So we use the word awaken. But you heard me say woke, I just explaining it. Happy birthday, Nikki B, coming up, right? You said the 18th? Woo! Or you mean September? Because I'm a Virgo, so 9/9's right in there. Jack a baby. I only saw your question because you put a bunch of emojis. What do you think of David Wilcock and Ishmael Perez and what they teach? Now, I saw Ishmael Perez in person. I saw David Wilcock in person. So let's talk about David Wilcock. I saw him at Contact in the Desert, and what was this guy doing? Talking about his penis. You know, oh, my name, Wilcock. And then he starts talking about his wife who's in the audience. Dude, I don't care if people think that's a joke or something. As a spiritual leader or spiritual teacher, I mean, what the F? He was so egotistical when I saw him in person on stage. And he has he had 6 security guards in the whole room. And then I hear these stories come out that he's talking, that he thinks he's Jesus or he's channeling Jesus or, okay, I don't even need to know more. Bless you, David, and your penis. If that's what you're all about, if that's what your consciousness is about, if that's what you're coming out of your mouth, bless you in your journey. Who are you fooling? Not anybody awakened. Ishmael Perez was very cool and respectful when I met him. And so he was very kind and we got to talk even. I even ate dinner with him and his girlfriend. I mean, we were all at the dinner buffet, or they call it. They will have that at the Las Vegas event. If you guys want to talk to me and I'll have time at the dinner event because people sit around all these different tables and we can talk. Okay. Plus you can talk to the people who are doing lectures. So I like an alien event because you're much more personal. Contact in the Desert, man, there's so you can't get close to some of the. They do have some meet and greets. Like I saw George Norrie there. I got a picture with George Norrie too. But anyways, there was something that really disappointed me about Ishmael, but there's no judgment. I love the brother. I love him and his girlfriend. But it's a public incident, so it's not a secret. At the last panel, before the whole, three-day workshop was over, the last panel, he blew up and was yelling at one of the other panelists. That's a big red flag for me. I love you, brother out there, Ishmael. I love you, and your girlfriend was very enlightened, but that's not how guardians roll. We're supposed to, first of all, not be triggered, keep our cool, and here's the big lesson. I'm not saying I'm giving you a lesson. I'm saying, here's the big thing. We don't judge other people. Because this other guy talks about AI. He's in favor of AI, but he's not awakened. That other guy was not spiritual. So that's the only, and I can't agree with his teachings either. I told him we might do an interview because, but then I looked at his channel, man. I just don't see much there. I don't see much agreement there. And I would be kind of hypocritical if I invited someone like that on my show who's talking about being on Team Elohim. Yeah, did some Elohim get rehabilitated in the host matrix? Yes. Maybe he's from there. But he mixes a lot of the theosophy or something like theosophy. So that I'm not going to say much more. You guys be your own judge, you being your own discernment, but we're not meant to be losing our cool on a live broadcast in front of a group of guests and a team of other team people panel. That is not, that's not cool. So, no gossip. That was a public event and it was recorded live. So, anyways, I would not want to work with David Wilcock. I mean, I bet you if I went online, went to his site, went to his channel, I would see red flag after red flag after red flag. Just saying. And he calls himself the incarnation. Okay. He's supposedly the reincarnation of a famous psychic called Edgar Casey. You guys, David Wilcock has a different parents, physical genetics, biological genetics than Edgar Casey. It's some soul freaking, you see what I'm saying? Just because you look like someone from a long time ago doesn't mean you were that person. That logic is screwed up and confused. Just because you look like someone doesn't mean you were the incarnation of that person. You have the same freaking DNA. I mean, you can't possibly have the same DNA. That's not the explanation of it. So, if he wasn't looking like Edgar Casey and he said he was an incarnation, that would be more believable. But to say I look like him, I am Edgar Casey because of this reason or that reason. You see what I'm saying? First of all, was Edgar Casey following the law of one? Is David Wilcock following the law of one? Is David Wilcock teaching you about your inner Christ, your inner God spark? No Messiah, no anything between you and God. No channeler between you and God. No self-proclaimed archangel between you and God. So, for the close-up glasses, I gotta see this. So, like, this was day one. Wait. Whoa, I recognize her. Like, I just turned to this page and I recognized that young lady. I thought she's from Vegas, but maybe I'm mistaken. All right, so we have, like, on Friday. It actually started on Thursday, but there's not many people coming on Thursday. But anyways, unraveling reality from psychedelics to synchronicity. That's what I mentioned earlier. That had Clyde Lewis, Dr. Pascal Michael, Anthony Peake, Adam Apollo, Jason Quitt, Rizwan Verk, and Paul Hynek. I've seen Paul Hynek at the other alien. Some of these people go to the different events. I want to interview some of these people, you guys. So I'll be contacting different ones that I think would be suited to our show. There's two people I have in mind right already. So let me get to you. So this is why I encourage you guys to go to these type of events. There's like 4 different ones. There's the one in Florida, there's the one in Vegas and LA, and there's the one in Indian Wells. There's another one. I don't know all the names, but I can share with you after the show if you need to. But I encourage you guys because, yes, we're about awakening ourselves. But this is also awakening ourselves. Remembering and being able to explain what the F is happening to you by other people talking about it. Because our Christian family is not going to be talking about it. They're going to have a whole different conversation with you. Okay? Most of us are the black sheep of our family, the weirdos of our family. They don't take us seriously. When I try to explain my experience, they want to talk to me all about what was wrong with it. When they don't. People stuck in religion don't have experiences, aren't awakening extra sensory perceptions. You know, those are the people who are becoming more evolved. I didn't say the word better. I'm saying reclaiming our true potential while they're staying stuck in some low vibration of fear and guilt and shame. Something I woke out of a long time ago. The next show I got to see, or lecture, panel of people, and you can ask questions to them. UFOs and USOs, which was very interesting. What is a USO? Unidentified sea object. Okay, and they were talking about how there's a lot of UFOs, or actually, most of the planet is water. Most of these underwater bases, I mean, there's more underwater bases than underground bases, which are mostly the human, some ETs, but a lot of them are coming out of the water. And I remember some of the freaking unbelievable things I heard about that and some of the things, but like some of these beings have such advanced technologies, you're like, what the shit, man? You know, how they can create an object. They can create a UFO, man. Like we use some type of fabrication. What's that where they print stuff? I don't mean paper printing. You know, we print stuff. They can print a UFO. Some of these races. But there was a whole lecture on the USOs because that's where a lot of the activity is coming out of. That was, unveiling the mysteries of the skies and the seas. That was Richard Dolan, who's on Ancient Aliens, right? Vinnie Adams, Jim Ludwig, Byron Belitos, Dean Aliato, Thomas Jane, and Daniel Sheehan. And here was a very interesting one. UAP and nukes, the disturbing controversies over nuclear bases. And they talked about a few big incidences that happened on this military base. How, and not just America, you guys. And this is another audacity. How could they say these things don't exist? These UFOs have around the world shut off these missile silos, nukes, turned them off, shut them down. And this is our military saying, what the F? And so, and some of these encounters are not some metallic UFO, but orb UFOs. Like brilliant light, brilliant orange, brilliant red, blue orbs. You see, we talk about the difference between mechanical UFOs and light ship type of UFOs made of energy, a light. Two totally different civilizations, man. Like we call them in these teachings different holographic universes. That means they have different physics, more evolved futuristic physics, more evolved matter density, more evolved intelligence and consciousness. This is what we ascend through. We ascend from low density matter consciousness, biologies, and go into higher ones. And some of these light energy type of, ships or orbs are coming from the higher density. The being still in carbon matter, they're still making it out of these fabricated steel alloys, different high-tech alloys. They're not using the same matter, okay, in those other. So they're going to appear ghost-like, phantom-like, like some type of spectra or some type of energy field. Maybe some of you, write it in the comments, is some of you who have experienced orbs like that, or and there's many different UFO testimonies that talk about the orbs they've seen. Those things that could land or super like just disappear, take off. They're changing frequency. They're going to a different dimension just by, their technology, by their they have mastery over that. That's like driving a car for them. To us, it's science fiction. Whoa! You see what that's doing? That's not man-made, man. What's it doing? Not to mention the crop circles they're making, right? Wait. So yeah, that was very interesting when they started talking about the USOs, undersea objects. Another very interesting one was when they started talking about psionics. It's just me or what? It's the same thing. They got to rename the word psychic and start calling it psi or psionics. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Let's do the same thing I did before. How many people are actually looking up the word psionic? Hearing some noise on my roof. Ooh. Wait, did I close this window? No, I didn't close this window. Okay. Psychic. How many people search for that every month on YouTube? 42,000? I thought it would be more, but psychic only the word. People looking up the word psychic. Okay, let's look at how many people are looking up psionic. Is that what they used? Psionics. I'll just put psionic. Psionic. 2,000 people. Okay. Let me add the psionics. 1,400 people. Why do these people gotta rename shit? Seriously, I was having that same feeling when I was in the audience. I'm like waiting for one person to use the word psychic. 1 hour goes by and one person said the word psychic. I was like, oh, they said psychic. Okay, so if you guys see some strange word that says psionic, it means psychic, okay? I think I know what's going on. It's raining. That's why I'm hearing weird noises around my house. The profound power of the mind. Host, Hakeem Isler. Dr. Diane. That's one of the people I think I want to interview. If I get that correctly. Okay, can you guys hear the rain? Diane, C-D-I, David, Diane. Dr. Diane, yeah, her. 1983, with a 1983 medical degree, and John Hopkins postdoctorate in medicine, neurology, and psychiatry, is an expert in autism. Indigo children. Autism. She probably won't call it that. And savant syndrome. This is why I want to have her on the show. And an award-winning clinician. Because I want to see what the scientists, the actual scientists interested in this paranormal activity. Because there's enough people needing explanation for it. And she's in the field. She's in the disclosure movement. I don't know if she would even want to do a show on my show, but I'm going to invite her. So she speaks at international scientific conferences, to news and talk shows, including Dr. Phil, author and independent researcher in neuroscience of extraordinary states of human consciousness and anomalous experiences. Because I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but there was 2 people that did psionic, like displays in front of the audience. So, and this Dr. Diane was on the panel to explain some of that, what was happening. So, Jesse Mitchells, Tracy Garbett Dolan, Lisa Strickland, Caroline Corey, and Whitley Strieber. Whitley Strieber. Yeah, he was member, one of those UFO movies I mentioned. He wrote books. He's on podcasts. He's, his story got a little bit emotional. Because you guys can imagine that, as he explained, you get a lot of pushback you get a lot of people criticizing you, making fun of you. In public, in news stories, in TV shows, they'll make fun of you. There's a whole movie based on his experience, just like there's a whole movie based on Travis Walton's story in Fire in the Sky. You can say these guys are pioneers, brave, to come out with this stuff. And some of you are just afraid to talk online or social media or to your family. Okay, these people are come forward already. They've already gotten harassed and criticized and all that. They went through all that. But they know, and I just want to encourage you guys who do have these stories, you guys, you're part of disclosure. You're part of spiritual awakening for others to come out. You know, maybe they're stuck into a rigid family, a rigid religious family. And they don't want to be called demonic or ostracized or whatever. But hey, there's other people that support you. And there's someone I met who wasn't even on a lecture. She was talking about all of her psychic abilities. I'm going to have her on the show. She will actually be probably the first guest that I have from Contact in the Desert. She was really cool. We were all just talking about just legit shit happening to us. But she's like super psychic, man. And so, yeah. So there might be a few people I met just on a personal level there that I will want to interview. Sorry, guys, we're getting through this. I just want to mention some of these shows. So this is why I encourage you guys. It's really important, you know. I know it's not cheap. It costs me still money because of the hotel, but it's reasonable if you plan ahead. Like right now, you guys can plan ahead for the Vegas one. It's not big like this one, but it's still interesting. So, and so that day would end with they have Live in Stir Lounge, which is a podcast maybe. Or no, maybe that's they had some DJ on the grass lawn. That was pretty cool. I was going to start dancing to that, but then this guy told me, hey, there's going to be a drum circle later. I'll hold out for the drum circle. And then world premieres of Contact in the Desert. So they talked about that. And then they had the another movie playing. So basically after those shows, they're going to have a bunch of sort of like entertainment stuff. And they have a paid section. If you want to see one specific person, not a panel, they offer that as well. I didn't have extra money, so I didn't go to those. So, the next day, Saturday, I'll just mention it more quicker. That's when I went to Nick Pope's show, a lecture, Lessons from the Pandemic, where how there's a pushback on the people awakening, how the pandemic is made us all separated. And he showed some very excellent presentation to show how maybe a lot of us didn't see all that stuff, but man, it's ridiculous how people were made to. He showed pictures of people at a park, and they had circles around them, and people couldn't go outside those circles at the park. Shit. I know there's some deaths from this disease, but you got to understand, a lot of this was, I don't want to go into that because those are some toxic keywords for the AI censorship, so I won't go into there. I already said one keyword. Linda Moulton Howe. If it's green, you got to pay. She doesn't do free stuff. I don't think so. Ancient aliens. Prehistoric evidence of off-world visitors. Very interesting. Nick Pope was on there. George Norrie was on there. George Norrie's getting old, guys. He wasn't. It didn't seem to me. I love the guy. I have a picture with the guy, but he seems like he's declining a bit. But he's still in the circuit. Jason Martell, Rex St. Onge, CISIR, what does that stand for? Sir something? Peter Robbins, William Henry, and the Hertog couple. Doctors, they're both doctors, JJ and Desiree. So that was that day, pretty much. The last day, Sunday. I'll just read them real quick. Beyond close encounters, first-hand accounts from experiencers. You get to hear other people and what they experienced, and you're not alone, you guys. You don't have to be ashamed. There's groups. There's people, okay? There's people that you can also learn their story. Share your story. Ask a question that they could answer. You're not the only one that's been through something like this. And then there was the H2. This is the one I wanted to talk about. Human 2.0. Now, the one thing I was disappointed about, if I was on a panel, I'd be talking about this kind of stuff. They don't talk about the Guardians. They're not talking about benevolent aliens even. They weren't even talking about anything about aliens. This was about having someone, a mother and her daughter. The daughter was autistic, and they both had these amazing psychic abilities, mostly with clairvoyance, or I guess it goes beyond that, because totally block out 3 layers of blocking out her eyes. And then, so it was kind of like it seemed like a magician show, but it's not a magician show. They're just trying to prove to the 3D people in the audience that, hey, I can be blindfolded, I can have my head turned, and someone else was showing you a specific color poster board. There were several different colors. And then they would have someone in the audience write down, just different people. a specific colored marker and write down any word they could think of. And this psychic saw every single one of them, 100%. But her daughter was even more profound. And you can tell she was autistic. I mean, it was kind of sweet to see her in her modality. But these kids are here, man. Okay, so mostly it was about what they could see in. Apparently, they can't prove telepathic, but her daughter was telepathic. She said that to us, about how all her different abilities, but there's only certain things they could actually do. What's the point of doing it if most people say it's a trick or it's her mom, but you better believe there's people who could read minds on planet Earth. Nikki B, yeah, ADHD, yeah. Yeah, it is something that is happening in the generations because, after you would say, find out if a certain kid is like an indigo, a hybrid, then they can target them, monitor them, guide their life, influence their life. Get them to a shrink, who shrinks your mind, by the way. Make sure they're taking depression drugs or their powers are disempowered by giving them pharmaceuticals. You guys, you see, this is government. This is your life, and this is, the government, the pharmaceutical companies. Here's the secret space program. Here's the aliens. There's so many levels of this. Maybe you're not ready for this part. That's okay. But just realize, if you really want disclosure, if you really want to know what's going on in this hologram experience, then you're going to go through all these phases. Okay, aliens are real. UFOs and aliens are real. Oh, there's secret parts of the government. Oh, psychic powers are real. Oh, there's aliens and UFOs. No, I already said that. But it's a branching out of awareness because we've been put in a bubble. We were told these things are fairy tales and fantasy. But your bubble is going to stretch. Maybe you need some time to stretch out to we're in other galaxies already. Humans are already going in spaceships. Humans already have... I'm not saying all humans are get to experience it. There's humans on Mars. There's humans on the fake moon. There's humans in space fleets. Okay? Maybe you're not ready for that. But as your brother Anuhazi, I am trying to share that with you guys. The deeper, bigger stuff. And I made 3 videos on the secret space program. You guys take a look at. Take a look at those if you are interested in. Like in the first part 1, I covered the MyLab programs. In part 1 of my secret space program video series, you see, like people like Nick Pope, you will not hear them talking about it. That's probably not going to be talked about on certain programs. They're not going to, there's also a danger factor if they start opening up to those topics to the public. Okay? I believe that, first of all, there is something called the secret space program. It is compartmentalized. That means all the lower people don't know of each other or the greater echelons of the organization or the agendas. You get like secret groups like the Illuminati, but that's actually a race of beings, different races of Illuminati races. But you got MJ12, you got secret elements that we see, soft disclosed. It's called soft disclosure when you see it in movies like Star Wars, like Star Trek. They have the Jedi Order, they have the Galactic Senate. They have the Confederacy or Federation. These are all examples of a secret space program or secret military or secret governments, you guys. Yes, we have just regular old governments, but we have secret governments. We have our government is telling us that trillions disappear every year. Where are these trillions? That's a ton of money. Black budget money is financing these technologies that some of you find it hard to believe, but let your mind stretch to certain ideas. Do your research, because obviously a lot of this is censored. You're not going to find a ton of whistleblowers on YouTube speaking about the secret space program. I know, because I had to check all this before I even made my own videos. And so, it's more of a fringe topic because we're living in a censored society, you guys. Those are the social media platforms. If the movies have to answer to the CIA because of some secret, what's it called? National defense or national security. They need to vet what movies you're going to show to millions of people. They need to vet what you're going to put on television, on cable broadcasting. They have to check. They want to know what's going out. That means there is groups in control of that. Censorship. Control of disclosure. I've even heard secret space program whistleblowers talk about how they are not going to let it all out at once. That they're going to let it out over time. They've also, some of these whistleblowers in the secret space program have also talked about how it's, there's infighting. Some of these groups are fighting against each other. Some of these groups don't agree, don't want the humans to know about med beds, to know about free energy. Even though there's large corporations who have made very suspicious patents. I mean, a lot of people come forward with that. Just, put light on that. But there's one organization called the Earth Alliance. Okay, because there's a whole ET thing called the Super Federation. And so the Earth Alliance is one of the species, one of the aliens, humans are an alien, that are trying to become part of that huge secret, Super Federation. So the SSP, the secret space programs, are about keeping from the earth the secrets of these aliens. And these books, the Emerald Order talks about these aliens. You're not going to hear in Voyager's the word secret space program. You're not going to hear Oceana say secret space program. But she does talk about, or these teachings do talk about Galactic Federation. And it is your brother Anuhazi's opinion, by connecting dots, that some of this secret space program is exactly that. Or you could say the Super Federation is these beings in these, like Galactic Federation, in the secret space program. I mean the Super Federation. And they supposedly they're working on, the Super Federation is working on something called the Grand Experiment on Earth. Okay? The secret space program is keeping all this secret. They're the buffer between what's actually happening. Even though humans, regular people, not regular, but who are experiencers, they don't need no freaking MyLab or some secret space program to tell them that ETs are messing with us, because they're the ones being messed with on a personal, direct level, right? But they're trying to keep the lid tight on what's The reality is, yes, aliens are real, but they're just going to slowly leak the idea to you. It's a progressive thing. So this information is censored, man. On YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram. In general, you know, when the people in power are in control of the banking systems, they're in control of the newspapers and the movies, everything that comes in front of your eyes. They vet it, they control it, they manage it, they feed whatever narrative they want. But once again, there's factions fighting each other. Some people are trying to bring you truth, freedom, information. This is why it's so hard. Is that truth? Is that real? When the barometer is going to need to come from inside. That's why when you're learning Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, you're learning how to activate your Templar using triadic phase currents. When you know how to work on your light body, you know, and you're starting to have extra sensory perceptions, you yourself are having experiencing guardian races. If you're aligned with the guardians, man. Okay, that's outside of Secret Space Program and My Lab abductions and ET abductions. Even our teacher, Ashiana, talks about how the Zeta gray aliens were messing with her first. And it was later when the Guardians took care of that problem, because she's part of the Guardians. She wasn't supposed to be messed with. But she finally got, you would say, starting to be tutored. This is where she learned Keylontic transmission and learned her spiritual mission to be as a speaker of the CDT plates, of these spiritual science records, Cloister Doratura plates. And so you, brother and sister out there, you could be having similar experiences of being messed with dark beings and some pleasant beings. Because why? This is a spiritual war. Right on up the disclosure, spiritual war up in the Secret Space Program. There's a spiritual war in the Super Federation on many different dimensions and density or holographic universes. There's wars on Earth. There's wars on Tara. There's wars on Gaia. Hell, they destroyed Armentana. There's war. This is all a spiritual war thing. So it is going to be very confusing. This is why it is imperative, you guys, to be aligning yourself, awakening yourself, and aligning yourself with the law of one. You want to be literally setting yourself up, connecting yourself to the guardian races. Because, first of all, you are one of the guardians. Incarnate here in the fetal integration process, looking like human. Your brother Anuhazi is an example. I'm looking like a human. What's up, baby? Liren, Fato Locos, Anuhazi. What's up, fam? I didn't just witness it. Wow. I was it. You feel the body. You have the memory. You have the consciousness, the intelligence, the perception. Even if it's just for a few minutes or a few hours, I've experienced that more than once. It's not just seeing, it's being. Being that. You don't just talk about some past life memory. You talk about it as a simultaneously, in the moment experience. Humans can experience the future in the present now. That's what I'm talking about. You don't hear Ashana saying that? You don't hear any, some of you can validate, some of you can confirm that for yourself. Yeah, I experienced that too. I'm saying I experienced it. You're saying you experienced it. There's no bullshit here. I experienced a literal memory. Boo! Huge explosion of awareness and knowledge, and then it went back to normal. Darn it! So while that's turned on, you remember. And now it's like a dream memory. Okay, I sort of remember what I was understanding. But nobody can take that experience from you guys. Only you can allow someone to upset you, bother you, or make you clam up about your experiences. There's people open-minded. You will find others like you experiencing similar things. Those will become your friends. That will become your family, your community. You go to these events. You guys, I'm not getting paid any money if somebody wants to accuse me of that. I don't know anybody who's administrators. I'm just encouraging people to start educating yourself. Learn about these teachings, of course, but you're going through something that it will help us as a community to start being knowledgeable, to start speaking and helping other people. Remember, we're trying to get this disclosure, this awareness out. And just remember, there is some hiccups in there in this disclosure. There is some people faking it. There is light false. This is why I teach about the false light regularly. Okay? The false New Age teachings, the false religious teachings regularly. So it's going to be, eventually you'll just recognize it. You'll just see it for yourself. You don't need me or a book or anything. You'll start feeling the resonance. It's a resonance, man. Truth is a resonance. Unity is a resonance. And lies, deception is a resonance. You will feel the difference. What's up, family? How you doing, man? What's up? You'll learn in my Part 1 Super Secret Space program about the Super Federation, about glass smart pads, about some of these whistleblowers who also talk about the Blue Avians, which is a guardian race, gold flame guardian race. Even though they're blue, they're gold flame race. Ceres bird people come out of the gold flame. Whistleblowers like Randy Kramer, Corey Good, Laura Eisenhower, Tony Rodriguez, William Tompkins, that's a huge one. Emery Smith, I met him in person at the other cosmic, I believe it was Contact in the Desert, because I've been to a few. I've been to the one in Sedona. There's some in Sedona I missed out this year, but I'll definitely make sure I go in the future. I love Sedona anyway, so that's just perfect. I talked to Emery Smith, and Michael Ralph is another whistleblower. Those are legitimate whistleblowers. Even some people discredit Corey Good, but there's a whole story on that I won't go into. But Part 2, I talk about the secret Super Federation, Earth Alliance, what disclosure is about the deep state, what cabal. That's one of the negative aspects. But that's just a term. There's more to that. It includes the Illuminati, man, which aren't human. That's another thing some people can't handle. That's another part of your disclosure process. There's humans here who are part alien. That means they're hybrids. Not only are they creating the hybrids, but they're able to incarnate into hybrid bodies here. There's a whole spiritual science. But when the negative ones are doing it, it's a military strategy. This is where some of you chosen ones are coming from. You weren't chosen by guardians, you're chosen by the dark side. And by the way, in their point of view, you're expendable as soon as you do your job. I also talk about the 22 genetic programs. The grand experiment. That's what this is. This is why I know some of this is the Galactic Federation, because this is exactly what they're doing. The Guardians talk about them. They don't say 22 genetic programs, but you know that they talked about them messing with our DNA. So this Galactic Fed that people are praising, they're just making it more powerful. You know, the new, you see, I'm talking about the secret space program. It doesn't mean I am saying, yeah, that's all good, because they want a new human. You see that message, you guys? Just know that's the dark side, the dark element of the disclosure. We're not saying these programs are all good. And I will make that very clear in my future videos about it, because we don't need to make a new human race. We need to reclaim our original DNA structure and consciousness. Not create a new human by taking something out, putting something in. After all, they say 22 different genetic programs. That's not the disclosure we want to follow. Remember, we're God, sovereign, free. We don't need no councils, no Anunnaki, no reptilians, no archangels, no saints between us and our divine blueprint. Between us and our direct connection to Source, God. So you will develop organically the discernment. So when you see that, 22 different, a new human, you know that is bad, bad, bad. Why not be improved? You guys, if you were actually reclaimed your 12-strand avatar self, you would be teleporting, you go to other dimensions, manifest objects in thin air. That's the actual human. You don't need no replacement human, because that's exactly what the dark factions, elements want to do. They want to make you something other than human. That's called transhuman. Listen to that very carefully. Transhumanism. Something other than what you were born as. Something other than what your race is. Right there. All kinds of things trying to make you something other than what you are. So many narratives out here in New Age and religion putting down humans. Something's wrong with the human, with our nature. Something's wrong. We need help from some galactic federation to save us. No. You guys are regulars here. You know very well. We talk about the hybrid children. I show some, AI examples of that. I try to show you, I use the art to explain to you these hard to imagine topics for some people. I talk about what is soft disclosure, like I mentioned earlier, the United Federation of Planets in Star Wars, the Q, or is that Star Trek? And the Q continuum, how these are elements of the secret space program in video games, in movies, in comic books. This is where you'll see a lot of disclosure, you guys. Remember, it's over time. Now it's just being thrown out into fiction. So it's making a soft impression on your mind. The good guys in the secrets, in the disclosure, want to give a positive, not a brutal type of disclosure, but a gentle one. Because you'll be watching movies for the past decades, like I have. I've watched all these science fiction movies because we're attracted to those things, because we come from those things. I don't mean in this life, but in future planets and future lives, we're multidimensional. We reincarnate here. Well, part of us, part of our DNA remembers those. We will dream about them. We'll see them in plant medicine. It's part of us. So they know these sciences. They're going to let it out gently, softly, and you start to awaken. That's the good side, but there is dark side. Some dark elements who don't want that. I mentioned the Galactic Senate as being a mirror to some of these real secret space programs, the Jedi Order, the Vorlons and the Shadow, Asgard and System Lords. These are TV shows. And how about this in The Expanse? Is it called The Expanse? Where they talk about Mars, humans on Mars. And how they're using, and how some ET alien shadow government starts doing something called the Protogen Corporation, making some experiments on children. Soft disclosure, even if it's not pleasant. We need to know these realities. We need to know what's happening to our kids, what has been happening. It's not new. This is ancient. The Bene Gesserit program, breeding program in Dune. How they're planting seeds. You're getting ideas from movies. How about Stranger Things? My Labs. L11. She wasn't there by her consent. They kidnap you, put you in a military outpost, a base, underground, wherever, so you can't escape. And what are they doing? What do they do to this kid in Stranger Things? Trying to enhance her psychic abilities. They put her in flotation tanks. Another way to enhance her psychic ability. But the truth is, these are all dark. They use dark practices. They use torture to bring out your psychic abilities. They want to splinter your mind into several different fragments for their programming agendas. There's a lot of diabolical things that some of these people are coming out of these dark programs and saying what the hell they did to them. A lot of torture, a lot of manipulation. They have real life virtual reality. So once they put you in there, you think you're in reality. You don't know the difference. And they will do psychotic, horrible experiments to you to learn from. And so that's not the way to develop. That's generally, let's just say this. That's not the only way to become super psychic. To go through some horror. They'll put these people in horror and torture to bring it out. So, just Stranger Things is another form of soft disclosure. Putting it out right there. And here's another huge one. Stargate. Okay, Stargate is talking about what? Secret military. Doing secret projects of time travel or teleportation or Stargate programs. And oh wow, aliens are involved. And then they have all these Star Trek TV shows. Stargate Atlantis, Stargate this, Stargate 1, Stargate that. Okay, so that's a ongoing soft disclosure program. And some of these whistleblowers have come out and said, that stage, they say some of those rooms look just like that. Some of the things they wear is just like that. Interesting. They're being very straightforward in some of that. The Men in Black. Oh, wow. Another example of secret government doing secret things with aliens and UFOs behind the scenes while remember, the agents would make you lose your memory if you happen to see the truth. They say it doesn't exist, but will be heavily involved in it. Remember, they have trillions of dollars annually. They have all the tech they need. They have life extension technologies. They have off-planet resources. Even if you don't believe that, you're not ready for that, right? so that's another form. Even though it was a comedy, sort of, it's still exposing a lot of shit to you guys. Men in Black, part 1, part 2, part 3. As a matter of fact, I think it was part 3 that exposes some of the technology, like the underground shuttle system that goes Mach 2, you know, like a sonic jet goes Mach 2. Imagine a train or a tram system, not a rail, it's levitating maglev, magnetic levitation. It's a rail keeps you at a certain speed. You don't want nothing holding you back. It's all magnetic levitation. That was soft disclosure in Men in Black. And I made a video about that, and it got big for some reason on Instagram. It has 1.5 million views. Check it out on my Instagram account. And it's in comics. I don't know. I know you think that's just for kids, but if you go to a comic book store, they're going to have all kinds of, it doesn't matter your age. They have all kinds of, it's not just silly little sad sack comics, Looney Tune comics, okay? No, heavy, hardcore science fiction comics. That a lot of this disclosure, man, I suggest you guys interested in this topic to start going to the comic book store, because there's going to be a lot of it there. Not to mention, video games. Any video games, huh? About secret governments, secret militaries, huh? Can you think of any about that? Start bringing in the alien topic. The Watchmen, Metal Gear Solid, Secret World Legends. And my part 3, I talk about the moon. I talk about the maglev sub-shuttle system. I talk about how they can bore these tunnels with nuclear power super fast. And I talk about Stargates and the movie They Live. You guys, They Live is another soft disclosure movie. They talk about how there's portals going to the moon and off-world, other worlds. They show these aliens. They talked about it. They showed it differently. But there is aliens here looking like humans. And this guy put on special glasses and They Live. He can see them. He saw... Oh, shit. I thought I'd knocked down my thing. That's an older movie, but it's a cool movie, man. You got to check it out. So yeah, let me. I think this is about time, you guys. It's about time. Sorry, I wasn't on chat that much tonight, but this thing was. Thank you, Nikki B, Star Sister. Wow, the chat is like rolling now because I haven't went to it. Fax, /G from Colorado. I hope you guys learned something tonight, or at least got curious in the topic. And you know, these disclosure conferences, they all have their own websites. You know, so you can get plenty of information just going to the contactinthedesert.com, alienevent.com. You know, that they have it's not going to be hard to find. And you guys, I just want to say, you guys, please consider supporting this work. I thank you in advance for the small gift of $5, $10, $20, whatever you feel called. Please make a super chat donation before I end the live, or you're welcome to make a donation to my PayPal account. That's linked below. You can also become a paid member. That supports this work, but also helps you be part of our membership community. I want to make a special thanks to my moderators, Stardust Goddess, Sandra, Sarah, sorry, Celine, and Mr. Madism, and Indigo Wizard. I don't know if you're all here. I see Stardust, and I know Sarah's here, and Indigo. Thank you. Special thanks to them, you guys, because they're doing service just by being here and helping out Block. Hopefully there wasn't a lot of trolling tonight, you guys. But thank you to you guys for helping me out. I cannot do this myself, no way. And special thanks to my members, all the names you see in chat who have this colored username. That just means and they have a little star. That just means they're supporting this work too. Thank you guys to all my members. But thank you to all the people who are regularly coming here. This is a very sacred space, and we'll be talking about all kinds of things on this channel that has to do with spiritual awakening and ascension. And so it looks like we have Stephen Oswald, brother. Woohoo! Thank you, man. Much respect. Blessings, because you do that regularly. You've been a member for over a year, I see. And he put a message here. Keep it up. I'll keep it up. Yeah, baby. What's up? TJ Shadowstorm Mystic. Wow, what a cool name. Thank you, Shadowstorm Mystic. Thank you, Omni Love, Holy Ones. Much respect to you, sister. I'm guessing, sister. Sometimes I may get the gender wrong, you guys, because of your thumbnail. I can't tell. Or maybe the name, I can't tell. Yeah, I'm just checking chat. We love you. Let me see if there's another comment. Agree, says Giannis Jamie 528. Woohoo! I don't know what is with the leaderboard. I will find out what the leaderboard. Oh wait, there's something here. It says experience. 150 experience. Maybe it means how much you've chatted during the live, but I don't know, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You all have 150 experience. A lot of you. I don't even know what that means. I will look up what community. There's a question mark here. Community leaderboard and XP. So it's giving me a text box here. What's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. How do you get on the leaderboard? You need to collect experience points, or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages. Send super chat and super stickers. Woohoo! Basically, it's people who have been more more involved in the live. If you guys don't like it, just don't say nothing. Unless there's a way I can turn that off, I don't know. Jackie baby, woohoo! Party time, you guys. I'm so close to this, to what I really need is to reach a certain goal, and $45 more, you guys, will hit. No, wait, 35. Sorry, 35 more will hit that mark. So thank you, Jacka baby. Much respect, Holy One. Thank you. They wrote, thank you, Christos Avatar. Great show. I appreciate all your information. And thank you so much for that positive feedback. You guys, I didn't have much time to put this together. I was just really so happy about the time and memory I had at this event, Contact in the Desert. I met some very special people there. I've heard some very amazing information. I learned some stuff. I've always been interested in aliens and UFOs and the experiencers, because I found, it's so funny, because I would say 10, 15 years ago, I wasn't an experiencer. Doesn't change the fact that you were once upon a time always a guardian. You're still a guardian. Even when you woke up, or before you woke up, you were still one of these guardian races. You were still a hybrid. You were still an indigo child or a starseed, right? But you didn't wake up because you had maybe 3D parents, a 3D school experience, maybe 3D relationships. Yep. All those were my experience. So I didn't wake up till later. So I wasn't an experiencer. I wasn't seeing UFOs or synchronies or, psychic abilities. I wasn't into those kind of things. I used to mock that kind of stuff. I did a 360, guys. And I know some of you are. And that's what this journey is about. That's what disclosure is about. And why not learn both, right? Learn and practice the attitudes of mastery, the attitudes of, this is our creeds, our true creeds. And awakening ourselves through hardcore mechanics, the Cathara Biospiritual Healing. And I hope you guys were sending some of the links tonight. The Biospiritual Healing will help you activate your chakra. You want to learn how to activate this chakra? Or this one? Or this one? The Cathara Biospiritual Healing, she spends a few hours on just the chakras. Red root chakra, orange sacral, yellow reasoning or ego, solar plexus one, heart chakra, green ray, blue ray, throat, indigo ray, third eye, violet, crown, gold, thymus. That's what this part is. Not the throat, not the heart, the thymus, which is your galactic core. The 8th dimension is the galactic core. Gold, silver, diagonal chakra, silver. Okay? Above your head, dark blue, galactic 1, black, dark silver, galactic 2. 6 inches below your feet, the Christ star. We're learning our higher consciousness. We're bringing in that higher consciousness. We're learning through these teachings the actual hardcore bioregenesis techniques, psychic techniques, awakening techniques. Not New Age based on something outside yourself. But this is all about the inner God structure, connection, energy, frequency. So bless all of you in your journey. You don't need no middle person or middle thing between you and your awakening. I mean, maybe you're interested in angels and stuff, that's fine, but just realize there's a lot of twisted distortions coming out of the New Age. I mean, think about it. We mentioned Metatron earlier. New Agers think that's a good archangel coming out of the New Age and teaching New Agers how to ascend and shit. It's not even coming from Christianity. It's not originating from New Age. It's coming from the occult. Okay? So, Jewish occult. And so, you want to start to not rely on something out here, but start to go inside. Are you guys meditating? Are you doing your... we have several songs that are very powerful songs to do regularly. Even the people who have done them for years are still doing them. We're regularly running those frequencies, creating these fields of energy around us intentionally. We're becoming powerful healers and awakening our extrasensory perceptions. And so this is a journey that we're on as a group. I love you guys unconditionally. Omni-love. Love everyone. Love everything. Put boundaries on those who are vampiric in your life. And you will empower yourself by preventing others from taking your energy. Okay? Get rid of the narcissists. Put boundaries on the psychopaths. Break up. Divorce. Whatever you got to do. Move if you have to. We all have to make choices, you guys. You want to make empowering choices. Choices that make you free. Much respect to all of you and your development on your inner Christos journey. I love you very much, and I'm so glad you're all here. We're coming together in this sacred space. Blessings. Holy Elohai. Kirashe. Kundare, Unisai. Speak your songs. Memorize a song and say it daily. Here's an easy one to learn. Shaddai Hure Akuntan. Shaddai Hure Akuntan. Shaddai Hure Akuntan. This is connecting you to the Kirashe, specifically Elohai, blue flame. And there's longer songs. Omeda I Patuma, Omeda I Patuma, Patuma he teeta he kumna. Practice the song of Lyra, the song of Orion. Learn these songs. Songs. This is frequency. This is code. At the beginning of Kathara, the Kathara manual, they teach you how powerful sound is. Words. The guardians create words, truly words of power. Scalar frequencies, also called cymatics, with speech. Speak with power. And stop speaking, I'm not telling you what to do. So let me rephrase myself. It doesn't help you to keep on speaking curses and profanities. Be very mindful beings. Be very aware. Be in the present. Know what you're speaking and thinking. And do shadow on that. Any shadow thoughts. Shadow work. Transmute. Transmute your shadow. Transmute old beliefs and paradigms. And be God sovereign free. Thank you guys for hanging with me tonight. I'll be here on Saturday. Hopefully I'll feel better in my body. Oh man, I saw some amazing stuff on my way here, like Joshua Tree from Nevada traveling to California. Beautiful nature. I was seeing, disclosure right there. I mean, I went through some area in the desert that had these big boulders, all like piles of boulders. What the F is that? I went through a whole area where it had all these giant freaking windmills, like huge ones, right? But fields of them. That was so cool to drive through that. It was so cool to go from desert into the beauty and lush greenery of Indian Wells, California. It was a very beautiful area, Indian Wells, at least from what I saw. So, bless you guys. If you have more questions, you're welcome to contact me. It's so easy to use Google, Contact in the Desert, alienevent.com, and you'll be hooked up, and we'll be probably seeing each other. I'll be at the one in Vegas. It's called alienevent.com. You can buy your tickets early. And I'll be going to the dinner thing. So if you guys want to go hang out, we can hang out and eat next to each other. Have our own table. Thank you guys. Just checking on the last minute chat here. All right, you guys. I'm going to go eat some vegan food. Peace to you. I'll see you guys soon. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Just repeat that to yourself. Start healing yourself. Machiwa, holy ones. Good night. Namaste. Aho. Omni-Christos love, baby. Yeah. I'll write that in chat right at the end. Omni. Oh, wait. We didn't make it to my donation goal, but that's okay. Omni. I will survive. I'm a survivor. Omni-Christos love. And let me find a wonderful emoji. Some emojis. I need a good night's sleep. I need a few good nights sleep. Christos, love you guys. Good night. I love you. See you soon. Machiwa. Yeah.